Your first experience in the game against South Alabama, what was it like out there for you?
It was a crazy experience just looking up and seeing the student section and how packed it was and how energized it was. It was a very live situation.
And for me, the second touchdown catch right there at the goal line. Can you kind of take me through that? Because the guy was all over you.
So our coach, he was looking through his play call sheet to find a play to run for that situation, and I just looked at him. I said, "Coach, give me a chance." And he said, "You want the ball?" I said, "Yes, sir." And so we called the play for me, and I knew once the ball was in the air that I had to go get it.
Hey, Chris, up top, Jamal Kennedy with WSFA Montgomery. Two questions. First, when you're one-on-one with the defender, what's going through your mind when they're covering you? And then secondly, the student section, you just talked about him a little bit, but just walking there with the belt, what was that like for you post-game?
I would say one-on-one with the DB, I know when the ball in the air, it's either I'm going to get it or nobody going to get it. So that's the kind of mentality I go through when I see the ball in the air. I know that I'm not going to let him get it, and if I don't get it, nobody's getting it. So that's the kind of like what goes through my head. And with the student section after the game, it was just like it was surreal just seeing all those fans and how loud they were. And when they told me to come up in the crowd with them, it was just surreal.
Stevenson.mail.com. Just you only caught 4 passes, but 3 touchdowns. You ever had a 3-touchdown game before, and just making the most of your opportunities? How big was that tonight?
I remember I had one back in high school. I remember the game. It was John Carroll on homecoming. I had 4 catches for 3 touchdowns. It was the same catches and touchdowns, but I had 132 yards. I remember that stat vividly.
And just your journey to get here, going to Kentucky and coming back to your home state and all that, what's that been like for you, and to have a big game against an in-state rival like this?
I would say just going from being at my high school, just being the man, and then going to Kentucky and not really playing a lot, it just kind of humbled me and just like reset my mind and tell myself that I need to work harder to get what I want. And I knew once I hit the portal that I could trust one coach, and that was Coach Summerall, because I knew him since I was in like the 9th grade. So I knew if there was any coach out there in the nation that I could trust, it was him. And just coming here and with knowing that he trusts me and got my back, I give him my all for him.
Hey, Chris, is every one of your catches a highlight reel catch?
It seems like it.
Chris, after the game, you and Gunner exchanging some words, you with the belt. Just kind of talk about your guys' relationship and how you guys have I guess, grown to be so close in really such a short amount of time.
Gunner's, that's my guy. And kind of after the game, he was just telling me how he's so grateful to have me here with him, and how he loved me, and I was telling him I love him too. Just going through that moment with him. I would say our relationship is pretty good in the short amount of time we've had together. Just him being a quarterback and me being a receiver, you always have to have that connection with your quarterback for him to trust you to throw the ball when all fails. And I kind of feel like I'm that guy that he trusts when all fails.
Hey, Chris, another one from me. The offense, obviously you guys never flinch now, even when you have those first quarters where you're slow out of the gate. What is it about this team now that maybe you guys have rallied around the fact that, okay, even if we don't start as fast as we want to start, we still have time because our defense maybe keeps us in the game?
I would say it's a good mentality that Coach Summerall always preaches. Whether if something good happens, we say good. If something bad happens, we say good, and we never tuck our tail or put our head down, and we know that no matter what the scoreboard says, that we're going to keep fighting and keep showing up.
I think the final 5 minutes, you guys scored those 2 touchdowns within a matter of under 90 seconds. Just kind of talk about how quick it could just change like that, 14 points right on the board in just 90 seconds.
I would say it's just staying locked into the game and not just flinching. I would say on the sideline, the message was to keep going and just to keep our heads down. And we knew that we had to put more points on the board to put the game away, because we know that South has a good offense and they have playmakers. So we know we had to put more points on the board to put them away.
Guys held them to 0 for 10 on third downs. You guys kind of kind of hypes you up on those third and fourth downs. You've made some big stops last several games.
Yes, sir. It goes back to Coach Summerall just talking. Like, 3 things going to this game was the turnover battle and big plays and situational matters. And third downs and fourth downs are situational matters. So it's big to go zero, keep the other team to 0-10 on third down. That's major, but it's just what Coach Summerall preaches every pregame. So we just go out there and we execute.
Hey, Craig Stevenson, AL.com. How many quarterbacks did you guys prepare for this week? And when you got the freshman out there, is it a situation where you think you can force them into mistakes eventually?
We prepared for the starter actually, but with him coming in, he's more of a runner, so he kind of changed the game. They didn't take as much shots as they usually would. They try to do a lot of split zone stuff, split zone bluff, a lot of more read option than we seen from them on film. So it was something that we had to adjust to, and we did, and it's the reason why stuff went how it went.
Up here, Jamal Kennedy, WCFA. This defense tonight, it might have been, but it didn't break, especially in the fourth quarter. How big was it to force them, especially on the goal line there, to kick that field goal instead of giving up a touchdown?
It was huge. That was a big turning point in the game. And like Coach Summerall said, like Chris Lewis said, anything good happen, we say good. Anything bad happen, we say good. So it's just one of those moments where you got to put your big boy pants on and you got to bow up, and that's what we did. We're used to it, and we put our big boy pants on.
Jordan, I think the only word to describe this defense the past couple weeks has been dominant. 3 touchdowns given up in 5 games. Just kind of talk about that stretch you guys have been playing on.
It kind of goes back to when Carter Marshall, I was under him last year. So the way I seen him lead that defense and carry that defense, it kind of sort of carried over to this year, and it did in many ways as far as toughness. That was the biggest thing from last year's defense. They were just tough. So that's why we try to go out with every game and just be tough, and the rest works itself out. But tough is the main thing, the main priority. Let's dominate the other opponent every game, every day, every down.
All right, man, the all-time leading rusher now. How's it feel?
It feels great. I knew I was in kind of sort of in striking distance at the beginning of the season, and I did make it a goal of mine to be the leading rusher. And I'm grateful that I was able to get it tonight.
Hey, Craig Stevenson, AL.com. The way you guys were able to control the ball, obviously you had a big part in that. Just how big was that for kind of taking over the game in the second half for you guys?
Oh, yeah. It was very important, especially with the run game getting going in the second half. We almost scored in that one, the drive coming out of halftime. We just had some flags, and, later on in the game we were able to fully punch it in, and I think we did a good job with that.
Kimani up top, Jamal Kennedy, WCFA, and Montgomery. Adam just mentioned that, DeWitt Betterson Sr. gave you the game ball there in the locker room. What did that moment mean to you as he, passed the torch kind of to you there?
It was great. It was a great moment. Probably the best moment. It's up there for me personally. I've been blessed to be able to put in a position to be able to do that, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you the touchdown. It looks like you barely got the ball over. Did you stretch the ball over, or did you just kind of get there before the defenders did?
It was more of I just needed to break the plane, so I was able to do that. I didn't really stretch the ball out because, there were some people on me, but, I think the O-line kind of pushed me in a little bit too.
Kimani, I know DeWitt Betterson Sr. gave you the game ball after the game, but how close are you with his son, and did he talk to you after the game or during the game when you broke the record?
It's actually kind of funny. He told me to break it before this game and before the season. He was like, "You got to break it."
Question: you just seem to have a second gear in the second half. Were you just more determined, or just what was different in the second half as opposed to the first?
I really think that the O-line really started to wear them down towards going into the second half, and I think we really just clicked in the second half. I feel like we're a very good second half team, and we rode on that, and that's what happened.
Come on up here. Another game for you guys, over 400 yards of total offense. Just talk about, you guys, finding a different gear this year compared to last, and to be able to produce as much as you guys have this season.
It's been great. I still think there's much room to improve. you know, we start off the game with a 3-and-out. I think Stephen F. Austin and Western Kentucky were the only teams that we scored on the first drive on. I feel like we have to improve that, and I think if we start off the game faster, it's not even close.
Okay, Kimani, Kimani, the game's over now, so the feeling now of having beaten South now 6 consecutive years, the importance of that towards the program and for this team, like, you know, what does that mean? I mean, that's obviously very important.
I really think that when I first got here, it was a standard that you beat South, and we're just continuing that.